John Cannon, I see you for a second. Yeah. Would you like? Are you staying for the event? You don't have to. Okay, that's fine. If you were going to ask a question, no worries. By show of hands, Sophie, are you staying for the event?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. Reese is staying. What?
I'm just saying the camera's on, so if anyone's like...
Don't be talking smack over here.
Are you staying for the event tonight? Would you like to ask a question?
Oh, I just moved it.
I'll get back to that. Are we good with, I know you have a meeting scheduled. Yep, are you good with that? I also heard from Kirsten that you got a place for next year. If I can help in any way, let me know.
Yo, Ryan.
Yeah.
Not you. You want to put it like that corner?
He's arrived at 8:15 today.
What do you do to the...
Yeah.
You can move it to the middle of this.
Yeah, I'll move it back there.
Oh, yeah. I'll be around. Sweet. Sorry. I just kind of... How are you? Hi, I'm around. So, yeah.
We I was going to say we could do it right here.
What is going on?
What were your names?
girl came in and he was like, I'm dislocated. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's in here. He came from the and he's like, showing me wrist and wrist. I was like, popped out. And sometimes it's like, I'm not a mortal combat. Like, she's like,
we all want this to be
I've never done that. We had a friend
exactly.
that she just wanted her to eat, like, just like,
we're not. And do you guys trust me when I try to event, but and kick off the event?
He said it hurt really bad. I
mean, it literally says, do you want to listen to your same guy stay? Can you envision?
He was like, what's up?
They're not sophomores, and I think students are going to realize that. None of these questions are like these questions are like they're no, they have not. Yeah, I mean, these have been written by me, Erica, Ryan. Like,
oh, Ryan, I can do one.
Like literally just now. So he's going to
seniors. 1 second. The best juniors. And Maggie, come over.
Right now?
Yeah, because I have your question. Anybody else?
Ryan, give me those challenging questions.
How are you, Maggie? Fantastic. Before we get started, can I see... Guys, hold up really quick. Before we get started, can I see Erica, Maggie, Ryan Schmidt, Tommy Reese, Jake Jagler, Brian Mercado, Troutline, Tom Yu, over here really quickly. Thank you.
Everyone jump into the platform and sit down. Thank
Oh, perfect. I've been
also be a stress ball if you were so in need. Hi, I'm Jason. Hi, Sam. You're welcome. Blair, twice in a week, good to see you. Actually, 3 times if you count passing on the quad. Hi, I'm Jason. Nice to meet you, Maya. Are you a senator? Wonderful. Nice to meet you. I work for service.
I know. I'm John.
Hi, John. I'm Jason. Nice to meet you.
opportunities and challenges and rewards this week gave us, and we pray looking forward that we may be blessed this upcoming week and that people stay warm. We pray this through the Blessed Mary as we pray. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at our hour of death. Stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Sam. Tonight we have the honor of hearing from Jason Eggert from Career Services. He's here to give you guys updates about some jobs that alumni have found and just talk a little bit more about his department. So please give him your full attention, and thank you so much, Jason.
Brian, thank you for the invitation, and I will try to be brief. You guys have an amazing agenda this evening and a program on the heels of this, so I will try to be brief. You can always contact me offline if you want to chat about any programs or any ways that we can support SGA from the career services perspective. I have two handouts, if Brian wouldn't mind beginning the go around here. The first handout is our spring semester overview, including all of our workshops and our basic services. And then I'll talk in a moment about our first destination survey, and that is the second color handout. And I'll pick the extras up at the end, should there be any. If you don't know about us, this slide has our basic purpose. I won't go through this for sake of time this evening, but know that we serve the career needs of the flyer community from your date of admission all the way until retirement. We never charge alumni for any services, including career counseling and career assessments. And you can come back and see us when you've been out of school for a day, a week, a month, or a decade, or 40 years, and we're happy to serve you both as students and as alumni. You may know us better from some of our staff members, and the picture in front of you is our current staff. We have advisors assigned to every major on campus, including those of you who may be studying something on the graduate level as well. And there are four things that we're primarily known for. Those four are career development, so helping students pick their major and applying it to the world of work. Student employment, how many of you, and if you're ready for the task session later on tonight, how many of you work on campus right now? So it looks like over half the Senate does. That's wonderful. In the average year, there are 3,000 unique jobs for students to apply for, which is a great way for you to build skills while you're on campus. We also do everything having to do with employment, so the large career fairs, fall and spring. If any of you are majoring in teacher education, your big event is coming up on Tuesday, especially for those of you who are graduating in teacher education. We have the handshake system where you can post a resume, find employers, apply for opportunities, and sign up for events like career fairs. And we also bring each semester a couple hundred employers on campus to conduct interviews right in career services. And the fourth thing I'll talk about at the end, which is the annual survey of our graduates. We call that the first destination survey. And we track where our grads are going across each of the academic levels. So as I mentioned, career development, we have staff members assigned to every major on campus, and they're available to meet with you to talk about who you are, your calling, your vocation, what you're studying, and how we can help you apply that to future jobs or possibly to graduate school. We also do offer 3 separate career assessments at no cost. If you would like to come in and learn more about you from that career lens, we offer something called Focus. We offer the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, and we also offer the Strong, which is a leading interest inventory. And in the corner, can you guys hear me okay? There's a mic here, but my family says that I'm loud. I don't know, it's often, it's hurtful, but no, I do tend to project fairly easily. And as I mentioned, we do events that are involving employers and employment, including career fairs, on-campus interviews, and helping you in general network, as well as helping you with hopefully amazing resumes, cover letters, and also LinkedIn profiles. And in some breaking news that my colleagues may not be aware of on campus, this summer we will be constructing a recruiting center in the space next to career services. So we're located in a house on L Street called the Alumni House. We've been out of space for a number of years, and we're going to be building a space just to the left of the Alumni House. There's currently a former landlord house at that location that the university is going to be tearing down. To build this location, it'll have 10 state-of-the-art recruiting rooms for employers both off and on campus to come and interview students efficiently in a welcoming environment. I can talk about that for the next hour, but I won't because I promised Brian 20 minutes. But coming soon, especially if you're going to be back in the fall semester, you will see the construction of the recruiting center. I mentioned before, Handshake, it's where our employers both on and off campus can post positions. It's also where you can sign up for things like events and on-campus interviews and career fairs and the like. And as I mentioned with student employment, we are here to help the campus work on campus. And the majority of our students do work over the course of their 4 years for those who are studying an undergraduate degree. We also help with things like first day paperwork, so your tax documentation, the I-9 process, all that is done in the alumni house. And I'm going very fast, I apologize, but I want to be sure we have time for questions because you truly have a packed agenda this evening. What I was asked to speak about briefly as well is our first destination survey. We track how our students are doing every year, and we do that for up to 6 months after graduation. And I can say, thanks in part to our campus partnerships and thanks in part to the economy, that graduating flyers are doing exceptionally well. So for the class of 2018, in the red handout that you have in front of you that looks like this, is that overview summary. 97% of undergraduates completing their degree in the class of 2018 had found a professional first destination within 6 months of graduation. So what does success mean? It means employment in an area of your choosing. It means that you're attending grad school on a full-time basis or professional school on a full-time basis, that you are in a service program like Teach for America or the Peace Corps, or that you are serving in the military. Those are the primary areas of success. And we're very proud of how well our students respond to this survey and how well our campus helps us track the recent grads. Our response rate for that data is 88%. And if you do any survey work for your classes, through your student organizations, that's a very high response rate. And we use the word knowledge rate because we proactively go out and get the information. If we have not heard from you after graduation, we'll call you to offer you our services. We'll also call mom and dad and ask if we can help, and quite honestly to ask what you're doing after graduation. The academic units across the board, all 4 have a very strong success rate, ranging from 95 to 98%, and there are some majors like teacher education that had a 100% success rate measured at that 6-month period beyond graduation. And if any of you are thinking about grad school, our graduating master's and PhD students also do very well, and those numbers are up on the screen as well. Our website has information on every major on campus if you go to our stats page. So you can look up and see how a history degree is doing, or how chemical engineering is doing compared to philosophy or teacher education. All available on the Career Services website. This handout has the basic numbers, but there is a companion handout for each of the 4 major academic units on campus. And the back has a select list of employment destinations, and the top 10 or so for both employers and for grad schools are highlighted here. We have this for the academic unit as well as for every major on our website. A lot of people ask about salary and what is reasonable and what you may be expecting when you graduate. If we took everyone completing a bachelor's degree who was working as their primary destination and then divided by the number of respondents, the average salary for a member of the class of 2018 was just over $49,000, actually closer to $50,000, which is reflective, I think, of the economy. But there is variation there with the 4 academic units. Arts and Sciences, the average starting salary was just over $40,000. The School of Business, about $51,000, bless you in the corner. Education and Health Sciences, this is the lower end of the pay scale, only about $38,000. If any of you go into politics and influence leaders, we need to pay our teachers more, and that's reflected by their starting salaries here with this survey. And finally, the School of Engineering does lead the way at about $63,000 for a starting salary. So if you're going out to dinner with a group and there's an engineer in your party, you should ask her to help with the tip. Making a joke there, but engineers do very, very well coming out of the university. People often ask us who are the top employers of the graduating class, and you can see here the employers who hired the most graduating undergraduates. If we had more time, I could have done this as sort of a Family Feud style guessing game, but for sake of time, the top employer was actually Crown Equipment. Does anyone know what Crown does? Anyone? Yes, what does Crown do?
Forklift.
They make forklifts. In fact, I'll toss back a couple of prizes to our guests in the gallery here. So, Crown Equipment is in New Bremen, Ohio. They are a sponsor of the university, in fact, and they manufacture forklifts. But about 40% of those grads were actually sales center students who go to work in a sales capacity for Crown. EY, the accounting firm, the Air Force, which includes those working for Wright Pat as civilians. Other highlights, Honda. AmeriCorps is a leading employer of our grads. Now, of course, they would be service programs, but if you look at our top 20 employers, you're going to find groups like AmeriCorps and the Peace Corps in those top 20 destinations. Gartner, GE, UD, a lot of those jobs actually are jobs at UDRI, so students who are staying to work in a research capacity, for example. Eaton, PNC, and Texas notes round out that top group. Now, our webpage contains all this information, and by the way, many more employers hire a single flyer graduating or 2 or 3, as opposed to those who hire 16 or 14 each year. Our grads tend to go where the jobs are, like water would run down a hill, for example. If you look at all graduates, undergrad, and those completing a master's degree, the numbers are a little different. Now, this is a little deceiving because these numbers also include individuals who were working full-time, going to school part-time, and completing a degree. So number 1 is the University of Dayton / UDRI, but a number of people who work on campus are working on a master's degree or a PhD. So that is why that's up there. The Air Force Base is a huge employer of all of our graduates. We actually have an MBA program based at LexisNexis, so not surprisingly, they hire a lot of those graduates. But if you're looking at who hired undergrads and grads together, this list would be that top, 14 or so. And I am, by the way, happy to share these slides if you would like to see them. Feel free to reach out to me, or I could share them with your leadership team, and they could forward those on. A lot of people say, now Jason, these numbers seem overly happy. Let's talk about some real life questions. So we asked our graduates, are you working a job that's within your chosen field, i.e. tied to your major? Are you working in a related field, or are you working outside of that chosen major? This admittedly is subjective because for certain liberal arts areas, this can be a hard question to answer. But across the board, putting all undergrads together, 88% said they were working within their chosen field, 8 said they were working in a stepping stone area, and only 4% said they were working outside of their chosen occupation. We also asked how many of you were working full-time or part-time, and 97.4% of last year's undergrads who chose employment, taking out the grad school population, were working full-time, and there were a handful working part-time, but a lot of those were by choice, which to us is not a lack of success. Another picture of our team, and at this point, and I think I've taken up about 16 minutes, what questions can I answer for you about career services, career development, or ways that we can better partner with or serve student government? Right.
I have one question. So I've been on campus for about 3 years now, and I have tried to go to multiple career fairs. When I go to those career fairs, I see that there's very heavily represented business opportunities and engineering opportunities, but I don't really see any political science opportunities, law opportunities, medical opportunities, things like that. Is there any work in bringing those areas to career fairs and getting that?
That's a great question. So a certain kind of employer comes to a career fair. Typically, it's someone who can spare the time to be gone for a day and that has a larger number of openings. So if you are an Ohio agency, maybe that would attract a political science or history major, and you have one opening, you're probably not going to spend the day off campus coming to an event like a career fair. We try to diversify the employers who are coming, and you're right, if you look down the list, you'll find, I would argue you'll find a pretty diverse mix, but you do find more corporations, more engineering firms, more businesses hiring students than you do nonprofits and the like. There actually are quite a few nonprofits that come, but they may be looking for different sorts of things, like people who are majoring in a counseling master's program, for example. So I'm happy to chat about that with anybody offline. We try to fill whatever venue that we're in, be it the Recplex or the arena. We, by the way, prefer being at the Recplex, but our friends have had some challenge in the Recplex regarding the flooring, and so we were bumped very last minute to go to the arena this spring. We're planning on being back in the fall at the Recplex as long as the flooring is repaired in time. Other questions? Yes?
So I know that I've heard some students talk about that access to the career fair is sometimes difficult, particularly because a lot of times it falls on a Monday, and a lot of students not having access to classes on Mondays. Is there any, per chance, is there any like opportunities that maybe fall on those days?
Sure. Do you have a recommendation for a different day?
I would agree that there are low points to access and react.
Sure. Well, we can take that feedback back. I think being at the Recplex helps because you could go to class at, say, 1 o'clock, go to the career fair from 2 to 3, and then hit a 3 o'clock class. I realize that our starting times have shifted a little bit. I think being on campus, and not that the arena is off campus, but it's easier to get to the Recplex than it is the arena. When you go to the arena on the shuttle or by driving yourself, it's kind of a commitment. You're going to go or not. Whereas the Recplex, we had a lot more walk-in traffic. So we'll take a look at the days of the week. There's a lot that goes into planning the day. Part of it is availability. Part of it is a lot of those employers are going to be at Ohio State or Miami subsequent days. And so we try to find a day that isn't conflicting, where an employer would say, well, I can't go to UG because you picked a date that's being used by another university in your backyard. But thank you for the suggestion. All right, well, I apologize for speaking so quickly. If you'd like to follow up with me, I'd be thrilled to. Our information is on one of those handouts. I wish you an amazing conclusion to the second semester here, and I want to thank you for all of your service to the university and to your fellow students. If I can help at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to find, and I wish you a great meeting. Thank you so much.
All right, so before we get into Senate floor, we do have an organization that is coming to present to us for special request funding. So Jared and Ellie, if you guys are ready to come speak on behalf of the NT. So give them your attention as well. Thank you so much. It's up to you.
I'll stand there. Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Ellie. I am the Chief Financial Officer of Epsilon Nu Tau. Just in case you guys don't know, Epsilon Nu Tau is an entrepreneurship professional fraternity on campus, and it was actually founded here on UD's campus in 2008 and has since grown from 8 brothers to now we have over 80 active brothers and multiple chapters throughout the United States. This year we are hosting our 10th annual national conference where brothers from across the country will be coming to UD for a weekend of professional, service, and social activities. And it's going to be the largest conference to date. We're hoping to celebrate both our brothers' achievements as well as we want to celebrate the growth of Epsilon Nu Tau as a whole. So this event is going to positively contribute to the UD community in many ways. For starters, we will be bringing in a lot of out-of-state students to this campus that most likely have never been here before. This will bring some business to local restaurants. We're hoping to show them actually some of the local restaurants that we like to go to. So we're hoping to stimulate the economy a little bit. And ENT as a whole promotes entrepreneurship, salesmanship, collaboration, and innovation. And we are hoping that with having all these people here on this campus, that will create a positive and inspiring environment for our brothers and the brothers of other chapters. So specifically, we are requesting $1,500 from UD SGA for the venue request for our final award ceremony. On the last night of the conference, all of the brothers come together for a formal dinner and award ceremony where we recognize the achievements, either professionally or through service, that our brothers have done throughout the past year. So again, since it is the biggest conference to date, and since it is the one time a year where we all get to come together, we want to make it special. We want to make it a nice event for them, and we We want those brothers who have done really great things to feel recognized for those. So we appreciate any funding that you guys are going to give us, and we are very excited for this conference. Is there any questions?
Do you have a breakdown of the venue costs?
Yes, our venue cost is higher than $1,500. It's going to be roughly like $2,000 for the venue and dinner. That includes renting out the venue itself, and we'll call it a dinner, but it's light appetizers that will be served throughout the evening. So that's about $2,000 to $2,500 depending on the final numbers.
What the cost of the rental of the venue itself was?
The venue itself, the deposit was $500, and then everything else is from the dinner.
What is the projected attendance of this conference?
There will be all 84 of our current active brothers from this campus, and we are expecting another roughly 100 people from other chapters, as well as alumni from other chapters and from Dayton. So we are still working on the final head count, but it should be between 75 and 100 additional to Dayton, so about 150.
What is the venue?
It is called the Wandering Griffin. It is actually partially owned by one of the founders of E&T, so we wanted to, support our local entrepreneurs. And it's about 10 minutes away from campus to Kettering. Thank you so much.
All right, moving on. Lauren, can you take the roll, please?
President Brodkin.
Here.
Vice President Shanowski.
Present.
Vice President Finance Rosati.
Present.
Vice President Communication Pearson.
Present.
Speaker Myers.
Here.
Chief of Staff Mercado.
Here.
Chief of Staff Fisher.
Here.
Chief of Staff Fogg. Here. Sergeant Tobin. Are any chairs here that are not directors? Director Smith-Custer. Here. Director Enderby.
Here.
Director Elmore.
Present.
Director Savage. Senator Petros. Senator Guelph. Senator Jagels.
Present.
Senator Ojeda. Senator Stewart. Senator Reese. Senator Trotwine.
Here.
Senator Hubert. Senator Schmidt.
Here.
Senator Ward.
Present.
Senator Silvas. Senator Sundermeyer. Senator Baeza. Senator Osterling. Senator Twigg. Senator Canny.
Here. Thank you so much, Lauren. Are there any public comments this evening? This is open to all of you as well. Are there any public announcements, comments, anything this evening? It's the first time we've really had such a big audience. So, if you guys want to say, yeah, what's up?
Saying hi.
Hey, how's it going, man? Are there any public comments or concerns? Seeing none, are there any SGA members who would like to give reports this evening? Senator Troutman.
So really briefly, I'll make this brief. I was at an academic calendar meeting for scheduling the next 5 years, really, is sort of the goal of the meet. And really, a lot of the draft isn't super public information yet, but once it is next week, I'm going to put it in the SGA drive so that everyone can have access to it, and we can just sort of get that out. We can sort of feel free to tell the constituency, sort of get the information out of what's going on, and yeah. But it was really productive. Had a really good meeting. I think a lot of the concerns that we had about sort of the future scheduling were addressed, as well as sort of the rationale behind a lot of the decisions were addressed. So it was pretty productive. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Troutman. Any other SGA members giving reports this evening? Sam.
So we're having a fish fry on March 22nd this year in Beaverton, Maine. And so the main part of what I do on that committee is finding SGA volunteers. I just want you guys to be aware that I'll be asking for volunteers for like an hour-and-a-half shift. And yeah, that's all I got.
Thanks so much. Any other reports? Vice President Schaps.
Make sure you fill out the Google form for caucus that Ryan sent out. And then additionally, I would like your guys' reports the first Sunday after spring break regarding your advocacy project. So similar to Tommy and the Tables, one that he so yes.
Thank you so much, Vice President Shasky. Any other reports this evening? Director Elmore.
Yes. So for the Committee of Residential Affairs, on March the 26th, we have an event plan. It's called Being Healthy Residents. So it's looking at like the spiritual and the mental and the social environment behind residents in residential areas. So yeah, that'll be at KU Torch Lounge, 6 to 8. Besides just that, also my committee has been working on a survey that we sent out and sort of share our ideas about with different faculty members and members of housing residence life. And so we're trying to figure out what people really want from RHA and HRL and how they would like to, what the residents want, how they would like to be advocated, and what their biggest concerns are. So that is probably going to come out in April.
Okay. Awesome. Can you just put that stuff in the GroupMe when it comes up? Thank you so much, Director Elmore. Any other reports this evening? Seeing none, moving into my weekly report for this evening. It's going to be slightly brief because, again, we got a lot of stuff going on. First order of business, member of the week this week goes to our elections chair, Sophia Spooner, who is like right there. So this week, as some of you know, because I saw some of you there, we had info sessions Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening. In addition to that, Sophia reached out to the International President's Circle, and her and I came and sort of presented about what SGA is, what we do, how to get involved to the presidents of all international organizations here on this campus. Really, really great, so thank you for that. She also is putting together a polling station in KU, which hasn't happened. I've been here for 3 years, and it may be because I've worked the most closely with her than the others, but she's been more than I could ask for and more than we've wanted out of an elections chair, so thank you so much. Moving on, just talking about the format of the event tonight. Show of hands, who is going to be there, so we can see. Awesome, thank you guys so much. So the way the event is going to work, and I'll be repeating this at the event itself, just so you guys are aware. So obviously it goes from 7 to 8. From 7 to 8, we have questions that we have come up with as an organization. Erica, myself, Ryan, Maddie Cooper has sort of written these questions. They have bites in them, they're hard-hitting. The reason that we have scripted questions is we wanted to make sure, number one, we get sort of what we want to get out of this. We make sure it's all covered. We make sure everything stays on time, and we make sure the questions remain under that focus of alcohol, public safety, St. Patrick's Day, things like that. At 8 o'clock, we're going to break. We're going to say, students who are free to go, you're free to get that path point, you're free to go. However, if you would like to stay throughout the event, Ryan will be on social media. We're going to have our handles up on all of the screens. Students in the audience can DM, tweet at us, Facebook message us with their own individual questions. And starting at 8, we are going to open it up and actually get the questions out of the audience that they want to ask. So it is going to be sort of questions directed from us, and then questions from the audience as well. I am aware that that is not, a complete open mic forum, but we wanted to make sure that this event was respectful. We wanted to make sure that this event stayed on track. Also, something that's going to be different about this event from other campus clarities that you guys might have been at, the questions are going to be directed to one panelist in particular. We've run into the issue where we've had sort of the panelists go down and say the same thing 3 different ways. So to make sure we stay on task, every single question will be directed to either Bill Fisher, Chris Schramm, or Chief Chapman. President Spina and Provost Benson will also be in the audience, and they'll be participating in the event. They will be able to sort of stick around after if students have particular questions relevant to them, but those 3 are going to be our panelists. Any questions about the event tonight? I know it's going to be chaotic. Those of you that have a question, we're going to sort of sit together in a row, and we'll talk about that after the meeting's over and when we get set up. Thank you guys all. This has been the most PATH events I think SGA has ever hosted. I don't know, Chris or Amy, if you guys could confirm that, but it seems like we've done way more events this year than we ever have. This is officially the last PATH-eligible event of SGA. It has been an awesome year. Thank you for everything you've done. As always, go Flyers. Let's get into the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Seeing as the time is 6:36, I call Senate floor to order. The roll, please.
Director Smith-Custer. Here. Director Enderby.
Here.
Director Elmore. Director Savage. Senator Putra. Senator Gual. Senator Jagels.
Here.
Senator Ojeda. Senator Stewart.
Here.
Senator Reese. Senator Trotline.
Here.
Senator Hubert. Cinder Ward.
Present.
Cinder Schmidt. Cinder Silvas. Cinder Sundermeyer. Cinder Baeza. Cinder Osterling.
Present.
Cinder Twig. Cinder Canny. 17 voting members.
Thank you. Seeing as there are 17 voting members in attendance, the majority will be 9 and 2/3 will be 12. Any old business? Seeing none, new business. Mr. Reese. Do I see a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The speaker recognizes President Rosati.
Okay, so EMT, like Ellie said, is hosting the 10th National Conference. I think the first time any of these students will have that opportunity to have the actual conference at Dayton. As every year, it's kind of hard to actually get everyone out there. It costs a lot of money. This year, we actually, I'm an EMT, so that's it. I think this is like a really good opportunity. It'll bring people from all over the country to Dayton, as like us in the fraternity are giving tours to students around Dayton. So it's not just the conference and like the events and stuff. We're actually like promoting Dayton and giving people actual history on it. They're asking for $1,500, which means they're eligible for $1,200. I recommend that we give them the full amount. There's been a lot of special requests this semester so far, and not many of them have been legit. I think we have 2 pending for within quality break, and we also have $4,000 of votes last semester. So we gave 1,000 for spring funding. They applied, and we have many fundraising opportunities as well. But this is not even the entire expense for the entire event. So.
Thank you, Vice President.
Hey guys, just quick update. If you guys just quiet down a little bit, we have like 5 minutes left of our meeting to get through, and then you guys are free to talk all you want. Thank you so much.
Further points or motions? Ooh, Mr. Troutwine.
Motion to fill in the blank.
Motion to fill in the blank. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Please raise your placards with the suggested dollar amount at this time, starting with Tom.
1,200.
Further? Going once. Going twice. We'll now move into voting procedure on the amount to appear on the bill. We will begin with the Vice President, or the full amount eligible to receive, which would be $1,200. All in favor say, or please raise your flags at this time. As that is the amount to reach majority, $1,200 is the amount to appear on the bill. For the points or motions. Mr. Reese. Motion previous question, any seconds? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. Moving into voting procedure on Senate Bill 1819-22. All in favor, please raise your flags at this time. All opposed? All abstained? With a vote of 17 to 0 to 0, Senate Bill 1819-22 has passed. Further points for motions. Ooh, Taco. Motion to adjourn. Do I see a second? Second with Mr. Schmidt. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you guys so much. If you guys are staying for the event, we'll kind of gather up over here. I need the people that are asking questions. If you guys can sit